In order to make good decisions, you need to have the right data. When you are working with website data, it is pulling in everything. If you make a lot of changes to your site, that means you're visiting and adding to all the data to the site, and that's not giving you an accurate representation. So one way to control for this is by the use of filters. So let me show you how to put filters on your site so you can weed out unnecessary data and just focus on the information that's going to help you make good decisions. Before I start talking about filters, I want to briefly talk about views. With your website, you should have a number of views. One is all your website data. This is the one I have for raw, unfiltered, do not touch. You're not going to add any filters. You're not going to make any adjustments or any changes or add anything to this. This is just all the data untouched. The other one I have is a working view. This is the one that I use to look at my data. This is the one that I basically add filters to and see how my data changes. Before I add a view, I normally will run it through a test view or add a filter. I'll add it to a test view just to make sure that things are reporting the way I want before I add them to my working view. But really, you want one that you're not ever going to touch and one that you normally do your work in and someplace that you can test. So you create those views, you'll be all set. Let's look at creating a filter. First of all, filters are used to shape your data. They can be used for the data collection, what you're going to include, what you're going to exclude, how to make sure your data is consistent so you're not repeating things, that you would have certain items show up as capital letters, others in lowercase letters. So you want to do that, and also control your data sources so you can segment your data a little better. It's important to note that filters do not apply to previous data. They only apply to the data going forward. Let's create one. So I'm selecting my all website data, and this is where I will build these particular filters, and then I will apply them in the other views. So I go to my particular account, and I normally get to this by selecting admin in the corner, the bottom corner. And I want to make sure that I can see my account, property, and view. And the filters sit in the views. So I'm going to go ahead and click on filters, and you can see two filters that I've already created. And these are two that I would recommend that you also create. The first one is called Exclude Me. And when I look at this, basically it's going, I put a filter name in, so I'm letting you know that it's just going to exclude me. Then you have different options that you're going to check. So in this case, I'm going to say that it's going to exclude, and I'm going to exclude specifically traffic from IP addresses. And IP address that I want to do is equal to this particular address. How do I find that address? Well, you can go to do a search, what's my IP address? And if you put in what's my IP address, you will get your address. So you copy that, and then you would paste it. Once you're done, you will save. The other filter that I recommend is lowercase. And what this means is it will take all the information that's coming in for the web addresses that are being sent, and you are going to make them lowercase. So I give it a title called lowercase, and this is a custom one. So I select custom, specifically lowercase, and in here I have a variety of different items that I could check, but very specifically I want to request the URI. Save that particular filter. So here is another filter that we are going to set up, and this happens to deal with the UTM codes that I recommend that you use in order to ensure that you know where traffic is coming from. So I'm going to go ahead and add a filter. I'm going to create a new filter. We'll show you what apply filter is next, but create a new filter. So this is what I'm gonna do is lowercase the campaign name. Once again, I'm gonna select custom, and I want to make it lowercase. So now we will select what specifically that we want to make lowercase. And in this case, it's gonna be the campaign name. So we're gonna filter that down and we will now save. I'm gonna do a couple more real quick. So I'm going to do a lowercase campaign source. Once again, custom. I'm going to go to lowercase, select source, and save. And lastly, I'm going to add lowercase campaign medium. Once again, custom. I'm going to go lowercase and campaign medium. And that's how you would go ahead and create filters. There's many filters that you can add, and I will add a link in my blog to a reference that was very useful to me, and it'll allow you to figure out what other filters that you want to use. Once you have your filters set up, then you can add them to your other views. So here I have all the filters. Now I'm going to change views, and I'm going to specifically go to my working view because I'm very confident that these new filters will work. So I go to my working view. As you can see, those filters are not added. So let me add that particular filter, and this time I'm going to apply existing filter. And I have the 3 filters, and I can click on a name and add it. So I want campaign name, and I'm going to add that over there. And as you can see, it removes it from this side. And I'm going to do the rest. If I hold down the shift key, I can select more than one, or the control key, and I can select the ones that I want. And now I'm going to add those and click on save. So now all those filters will start working for me, and I'll be able to later check on my data, and ideally everything should be coming in as expected. And that is how you would go ahead and add filters. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up below. If you have any comments that you would like to add or any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Go ahead and add those to the comment sections. And if you're not a subscriber, I would encourage you to subscribe. But most importantly, I would like to thank you for taking time to watch this video. And I wish you well in your business.